In a world where the truth isn't always what it seems, four masters of real estate step forward to help put the E first in the word true. TREU. Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed. And now, here's the Fantastic Four of Real Estate with their host, Tom Platania.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed. I'm Tom Platania, your host, and we have an exciting show for you today. And we have a wonderful guest in the studio with us that I'm actually very happy to have here. I got to behave myself today, though. We have Mama McAllister with us this morning. We have Jane. Good morning, Jane.
And good morning, Tom.
I got to be. She's giving me those eyes. Well, remember, ladies and gentlemen, TREU Radio, TREU Radio.com is where you can go to actually watch us live in the studio. You can see Jane and Scott McAllister and Carol Morgan in here and myself. And if you'd like to, you can listen, you can watch us. So if you ever miss any part of the show, you can also go back into the show and look at the archives, and maybe you missed a little section. You had to get up and, I don't know, go do some stuff in the house. But you want to talk, and today is a great show for that to happen because we're going to be talking about loans. We have Christian on the phone with us here, and Scott, I mean, he's a good acquaintance and a friend of yours. Tell me a little bit about what you know about Christian.
Well, I'll tell you, Christian does a really great job locally of working with realtors and actually providing education. It's one of the great things, one of the reasons I thought he would be a perfect fit to come on and speak with us for a little bit today on the show is that he's really big about education himself, and part of what he does to help promote his business is offer education to realtors. I've been to classes that he's sponsored on how to properly use Facebook and other like Pinterest and other social sites, and he offers these free to local business. Obviously, to drum a business for himself, but I think it's important, a part of the whole society of education that we have as realtors and vendors to the realtors. It's not just the realtors that educate themselves. It's the mortgage originators. It's the insurance people we talk to. Every day we're just trying to improve ourselves.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to be talking about mortgage and financing, FHAs, 203Ks, renovation loans today. So if you'd like to call into the show at any given time, 772-220-9788. That's 772-220-9788. Well, let's go right to the phones right now with Christian. Christian, good morning. Welcome to TREU Radio.
Hey, good morning. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing awesome. How could you not be doing good? In sunny South Florida, the weather is absolutely perfect today.
It is. It's great out there. And Scott, thanks for that warm introduction. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys inviting me onto the show today.
Absolutely. Well, tell us a little bit about what's the name of your business.
I work for a company called 7B Mortgage.
Okay.
And we're actually based in Florida. We're based out of Miami. So we are a company that really understands the Florida market, understand what's involved. We underwrite and process all of our files locally, so we truly understand the South Florida market specifically. So.
And it's amazing that in the world of technology today, you really don't have to necessarily be in the exact area of where everybody's doing the financing, because with internet and email, and it just. So do you guys have an office up this way?
Yeah, we're very mobile. We have offices throughout Florida, and my actual physical office that I report to on a daily basis is up in Jupiter, which is a little bit south of you guys. But yeah, I'm actually going up to Orlando this weekend to visit with a developer up there and looking at some new projects. So we're all over the state doing all kinds of things. So like you said, we can do business from anywhere.
Are you going to visit Mickey while you're up there?
I was just talking about that with my wife on if we want to do that or not. But I think we're gonna pass this time, but we'll make another trip up that way. We go to Legoland a lot. I don't know if you guys have been there. It's a pretty neat place.
I'd love to go, but I don't have children, and I think they would really look at me odd walking into Legoland, but by myself. Be like, who is that guy?
Right.
You see you sitting there playing with them. We're gonna wonder.
But God, it gets so expensive anymore.
Oh, I know.
To go up there. I mean, I would think for a family, you'd be looking at $1,000 between the cost of going in and the food, and
it's easy.
And it's insane. So, well, Christian, today what we're kind of the topic we were looking at is I got some information from our real estate news talking about FHA fees going up. Yeah. And how they're really causing, here on some of the notes that I have, huge percentages. It was actually 62% of homeowners, or 68.4% of mortgage originators indicated that they had clients who chose not to buy or put off the buying indefinitely due to the increase in these FH mortgage insurance rates. Are you seeing that?
Well, two things have happened with FHA. Especially this year. The one thing is, depending on what county you're in, they've lowered their maximum loan amount. Okay, in Palm Beach County, for instance, they lowered it from $417 to $345, which that's a pretty significant reduction. FHA had noted that they were kind of winding down the amount of originations they were getting, because if you can remember, 5 years ago and up until probably about 2 years ago, for about a three-year window, FHA was taking probably 60%, 50% of the loans going in, because, there wasn't a conventional loan out there over 80% available. And there was no mortgage insurance companies, because they were all basically bankrupt and going through massive issues with all of the foreclosures and short sales going on. So the good part about it is that, conventional loans have come back, where, basically a 5% down loan right now you can get mortgage insurance on for half the cost of an FHA loan. So if you've got pretty good credit, a 620 credit score, you can get into a conventional loan, with 5% down. And the difference between an FHA loan and a conventional loan is really 1.5% of a down payment. If you've got some issues on your credit, conventionally it may not work. FHA may be your only solution. But like you were saying, the FHA loans, their costs they have a 1 3/4% premium up front that's paid. It's built into the loan amount. And then their mortgage insurance premium is 1.35% of the loan amount. So, for instance, for every $100,000 loan, it's costing that borrower $135 a month. So, think about it. If you've got a $300,000 loan, that's huge, and you can only tax deduct it up to, I think if your income's over like $100,000, you can't tax deduct that. So you got to talk to your CPA about that part. But so yeah, to answer your question, yeah, the FHA loans are very expensive now from where they were. But if you have some credit challenges and things like that, we would like to work with you. Start the process talking to a lender maybe 6 months before you decide to purchase or something like that, where we can look at your credit. If there are issues, we can get it straightened out, get you in the conventional loan, which is better, because the other part of FHA is that mortgage insurance premium that's costing $135 per $100,000 never goes away. Even if your loan to value went down to 20%, it never goes away.
Oh, wow.
So it's there for the life of the loan. You'd have to refinance to get out of that.
And that would be a chunk of change if you were to have that loan for 20,
yeah, that adds
years.
up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you would think that probably in 5 years that they would refinance out of that loan, and have to take
true.
that whatever current market is to get out of it. So that's kind of, the point of FHA. They want, they're crying that they're losing a lot of money, and they have a lot of.
Now, where do the credit ratings factor in for FHA? When would somebody not be able to or benefit from being on FHA based on their credit score? You said 620?
Well, it's truly, it is a credit score kind of driven deal, but we have to look at every person's situation independently, and we run them through an automated system called desktop underwriting, or it's either through a Fannie Mae desktop.
You guys familiar with that?
Freddie Mac.
I see everybody in the studio shaking their head.
Yeah. So what that means is that, we have to, that person has to get an automated approval first to figure out really where they want to go. There are some manual underwriting available, but truly, we've got to run that person through an automated system to get our approval. And what happens when we do get an automated approval for them, we can look at kind of what is Fannie Mae or FHA, or what are they requiring from this person. If the person has credit issues, it will list those on that automation. It'll tell us that it's a loan that's being referred, which means it's not an approved loan, electronically, which means that we have to work on a few things. So I don't want to confuse you with a lot
like
of that.
First Blood, 16 years of backup, pay stubs, this is stuff like that.
Well, typically nowadays, everyone's got to, adhere to the full documentation loans, and it's truly not that bad.
Right.
I mean, it's 2 years tax returns, a couple months of bank statements, trying to verify where the funds are coming from to close, pay stubs. You either have to be in school for the last 2 years or have a job, and truly with FHA, they only really require you to have a pay stub for the last 30 days to qualify. So maybe you were a mother that was watching your children, they were growing up, and you want to go back to work, and you want to, downsize, get a new house. You truly only really have to have a pay stub for the last, 30 days to qualify for someone. So it's truly not that difficult, but you do have to qualify. We have to be able to prove that you can repay the loan. That's really the litmus test there, is your ability to repay nowadays.
Right. Now, Scott, there was the renovation loan you were talking about.
Yeah, well, I've been asked a lot by customers recently about the 203K renovation loans, but I know you're talking about some issues with the costs with FHA. Are there other alternatives for renovation loans, or?
Yeah, actually there is. So there's actually a Fannie Mae program out there that is a pretty good loan. It's called the home style renovation mortgage, and there are some good things about this loan from a cost perspective that are substantially better than a 2 or 3K loan. 2 or 3K loans have some limitations to them. I can kind of run through some different things. I'm not sure how you want me to kind of explain them, but there are two loans. We can look at both of them to figure out what loan is the best for that consumer, and it just really depends on the house and what's wrong with the house, what issues are that it has, because some of the big differences, 2 or 3K loan in the conventional loan, or if you do a streamlined 2 or 3K, you're limited to about $35,000 of rehab costs. And they are limited to some structural things that can be done, whereas the home style, you can do some things like add a pool, or you could, do some structural things where you can't really do on a 2 or 3K.
Oh, okay.
Now, can you do like upgrading with the 203K? Like upgrading bathrooms, kitchens?
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
you can. So we can do there's 2 or 3K loans. There's a full 2 or 3K, and there's a streamlined 2 or 3K. So what we would do is we would look at that house that they're looking to buy and figure out, what is the best loan for them. So truly, we'd actually have 3 options to look at. We'd have the home style renovation loan that we would see if that would work out best, because that is the most cost effective one. And then we look at the 2 or 3K full, and then the 2 or 3K streamline. And then we can figure out what may be the best, product for that consumer. So real quick, I'll go into just some highlights on the home style renovation mortgage, where, the benefits to the borrower are, you can do, borrowers can qualify up to a combined loan to value of 105% of the appraised value, which an appraised value, and the loan is based on, and the appraised value is based on the subject to, or as completed, I guess you could say, house. So let's use some round figures. So if you're buying a house for $100,000, and you want to do some improvements on the house for $150,000 upon the purchase. Maybe, you know, I'm actually working with somebody right now where somebody moved the kitchen completely in a house. Didn't get
That's got to be
permits, went in
expensive.
for it. So what we've got to do is kind of retro do this deal and figure out, okay, to get the permits done right, to fix everything, what is that really truly going to cost? So we got to get estimates. So we either get a contractor in there, GC licensed contractor to be licensed to.
And you're working all along with the client while you're doing all this?
Absolutely. And then, you know, for the real estate agents, if you know some local, contractors that you would recommend, great. We just get them approved, and then we submit a couple. We look at a couple bids, and we figure out what's the best one for that consumer, and then we kind of move forward with it. We get an appraisal done subject to. So if the cost to construct or cost to rehab is $50,000, well then our hopes are that the purchase price plus the rehab costs come out to match what the appraised value is. So then we can move forward like that.
Hey, Christian, are you able to hold on just a minute? We got to take a commercial break. Are you able to hold on for a little bit?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're here with Christian and Penner. Christian Penner, I apologize. With Christian Penner, and we're talking about FHA loans, we're talking about renovation loans, and talking about the mortgage process. And now's a great time to do this, especially with, I guess, the drop in short sales and foreclosures and different things like that. So you're listening to TREU Radio. Give us a call here at the studio if you'd like to talk to Christian, 772-220-9788. TREU Radio. We'll be right back.
Has a recent foreclosure, bankruptcy, or short sale spoiled your credit? Fidelity Funding may be able to help. Their hometown lenders are specially trained to work with your credit history to find the perfect loan program and get you back on track. Even if credit is no problem, Fidelity Funding offers many dynamic loan programs. Call Fidelity Funding on the Treasure Coast at 772-237-5211. They work day in and out with realtors in your community to find you the house you love. Call 237-5211 for Fidelity Funding. Dramatic change invites invigorating new energy. Let Decorating Den Interiors create a dramatic change in your home's decor. They'll create a look that's important to you. Begin your home's gorgeous transformation by calling Decorating Den Interiors on the Treasure Coast at 692-8589. Visit their waterfront design studios on Southeast Osceola Street, downtown Stuart, and online at stewartdecorator.com. Every 13 seconds, a home intrusion is committed in the United States, with property loss totals in the billions. Take action today to prevent it from happening to you with ADT, protecting homes and businesses for more than 136 years. Protect Security is your authorized ADT dealer on the Treasure Coast. Call Richard Stratman today at 772-708-2691. Protect Security and ADT, offering peace of mind security 24/7. Call today, Protect Security, 708-2691. Are you selling your home, wondering how you're ever going to move all your belongings? Well, don't wonder. Call the trusted moving professionals from Mr. Small Move. Their staff of full-time movers are ready to take the stress out of your next move. Mr. Small Move will safely pack, move, then place and assemble your belongings at your new location. So if you're moving, call the trusted professionals at Mr. Small Move. For a free estimate, call 283-5540. That's 772-283-5540 for Mr. Small Move. Customer service and great rates. That's what you get with Atlantic Insurance Advisors. Remember, everyone's just one torrential downpour away from a flood. And with rates as low as $129 per year, why would you not get coverage? Call 772-233-4444 or email flood@atlanticinsurance.us and save hundreds on all your insurance needs. That's 772-233-4444, 233-4444 for Atlantic Insurance Advisors. When you buy a home without a housemaster inspection, things can break down without warning. When things break down without warning, you get angry. When you get angry, you may commit acts of random violence. When you commit acts of random violence, you could do hard time. Don't do hard time. Call Housemaster for your home inspection needs. 772-336-2111 or visit them on the web stlucy.housemaster.com. You're listening to WSTU Stewart.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed, TREU Radio. I'm Tom Platini, your host. We're here this morning with Jay McAllister, Carol Morgan, and Scott McAllister. And we have on the phone with us Christian Penner. And Christian's helping us to understand the kind of the mortgage loan FHA process. But don't forget, you can watch us live and go back and listen to any part of Christian on TREURadio.com. Now, I'm not dyslexic, but we spell TREU Radio, TREU Radio, for a reason. Why do we do that, Scott?
That E would be for education, my friend.
That's it, because without education...
Now, we stress the education first, because without education, like you said, that, that's why I think that, we as realtors at Keller Williams, and especially this group of realtors that we have working on this show, that we can give what we give, the service to our customers, because we're constantly educating ourselves.
Could you imagine what you would be like today if you didn't educate yourself as much as you have in real estate?
Yeah.
Oh.
You would have given up a long time ago.
Oh yeah, there's so many things. Now in a few moments we'll ask Christian how people can get in touch with him. But just in case, if you have a property and you'd like to speak, a property you're interested in, and you'd like to speak to one of the realtors
And
here,
the number is?
and our number to get in touch with any of these fine realtors on our show is 772-444-2590, and we can put you in touch with any of the vendors that we've spoken to, whether it's Christian or whether it's Mary Beth or any of these different people that we've worked with over the weeks. But also, if people need to get in touch with you direct, Christian, what's your website that they can look you up?
Website, which is christianpenner.com, and that's CHRISPIAN, P as in Peter, E-N-N-E-R.
Pretty easy.
All my contact information is from there.
Perfect. That's a good place. And all kinds of other information about the products and services you offer online?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of information there. And, there's a form there. If they just want to request more information, they just fill that out, and I'll get back to them and go over in detail whatever their questions are or on any product that we have.
And I do recommend realtors, not even just customers, realtors who are listening, friend him on Facebook, look him up, because he's always offering really interesting classes and things.
Oh, wonderful.
And he's definitely a person that can help with that E of education, in the business.
Perfect. And
Awesome. Thanks, Scott. Yeah, I really enjoy doing those classes. We do a live class every Tuesday from 12 to 1, and then we do a Saturday strategy every Saturday. So if you're an agent out there and you're looking for some strategies to put into your business, we offer a new strategy every single week. So you can check out our all my classes right there on my website.
Perfect.
And pick one out and get it implemented into your business the next week. They're really easy classes sometimes.
Awesome. And don't forget also, you can go to Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed on Facebook, where Scott's been helping post out some things there, talking about the shows and the topics, and we got all kinds of great shows up and coming. We'll come back to Christian here in just a second, but we got something special happening here. TREU Radio is moving on up, like George and Wheezy. Moving on up. So actually, today is our last Thursday show, and we are moving to Fridays at the same time. We're going to be doing it from 10:05 to 11 every Friday right here in WSTU 1450. And we're moving. We've always wanted the Friday show. And obviously, people start looking for real estate closer to the weekend, especially the working class people. And they're usually people. So, we're going to move to Friday, and that's where we are going to stay. We're going to stay there forever. So don't forget, if you love the show, if you love listening to Carol Morgan and Scott McAllister and our new master realtor coming on board with us.
Good old George.
As soon as he's finished getting
for his month-long vacation.
His month-long margarita vacation.
I'm sure he's out there doing the mini lobster today. And he didn't invite us for dinner.
Oh, my gosh. George Matter's going to be joining us September 5th. It's his first time when he gets back from vacation. So we're going to have a great new cast here with us, and we'll have some new sponsors and all kinds of great stuff. So Christian, let's go back to what you were talking about with the different renovation loans. Now, for our panel here, do you guys have any questions specifically for some of the loans that you've been having lately, or the changes in the loans?
No, I think the only question that I have, Christian, is, so many times that some of these homeowners want to be able to do some of this stuff themselves. Is there any program out there that they can do that?
Well, with these two programs, technically there's really not like an owner-builder type of situation unless they have maybe a friend that's a GC or something like that can sign off on it. Because we are doing a loan on it, and they want to make sure that you're going to have inspections done, you're going to have permits pulled, and stuff like that on some of these deals.
You mean homeowners do their own stuff and don't pull permits and have licensed contracts? Really? I've never heard of that.
So we try to prevent that stuff. So unfortunately, under these programs, they can't.
Okay.
But maybe down the road there may be some things that open up. But for today, everything needs to be done by a licensed contractor.
Now, if they wanted to go into, say, like Home Depot and use the Home Depot contractors, can that be done there?
If they're a general contractor and they want to sign off on the work and they're going to want to get the bids and all that stuff, then yeah.
Okay.
If they want to be that person, sure.
Yeah, they've been real good. Home Depot and those places have been real good about having contractors out like that, and most of the time they're pretty picky about who they bring on board. So that's a good thing. So the two different loans. So FHA. So the 203, is that what the other one is called as well? It's just a different version of the 203?
Yeah. Well, here, how about this? I'll run through. I just while we're on that break there, I put together kind of a quick little overview comparison between a couple of these two programs that kind of make it easier as a consumer or even as a real estate agent is kind of looking at the homes that they're showing and trying to figure out which one it may fit best. And again, even at any loan that needs rehab, especially some REOs or some short sales or ones that have been kind of left out there, call me for sure, and I will direct the the type of loan that fits your situation the best. But to go into a couple advantages from the 203K loan, I mean, it is, it's truly designed, the 203K for, a home that wants more,
right?
Maybe
larger renovations, higher dollar amounts.
Yeah, not really larger stuff, but maybe superficial stuff.
Okay.
They want to go in and do that, not moving walls and things like that. So, you can actually get a loan amount as high as 110% of the after improved value.
Oh, okay.
And the good thing about the 203K, they give you about 6 months to complete the renovation.
Okay.
The buyer can include optional renovations in as well. The buyer can finance up to 6 months of the payments to eliminate making the housing payments during this renovation process, which is pretty big.
All right, so it's almost kind of like a new construction loan in a sense. Some of those new construction loans you don't make payments till afterwards.
Now, I know with FHA loans, there's obviously a number of restrictions about things that have to be in the property in certain conditions. Can those be items that are repairable with the loan, or do those items have to be taken care of? They are, okay.
Yes, that's one of the big reasons for this loan is, yes, we would list all those items that need to be done. We would close subject to those things being completed.
Got it.
And also the good thing is, I mean, even on that 203K, the borrower still only has to put down 3.5%. And then think about it. So if they put 3.5% down and they roll in all the costs, they don't have to make a payment in some cases for 6 months on that house while the things are being constructed. That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Now, are you folks in the studio? Are you guys have you seen a lot of people doing these where they're buying homes and then adding a renovation to it, or do you see them doing that after? I mean, like buy it first and then factor in down the road 6 or 8 months or 10 months or whatever.
You talking about us?
Yeah. To realtors.
We're seeing some of it. I haven't done a lot of this. I mean, back years ago when the 203 came out, I was doing mortgages then, and we did a lot of them back then. But it's so totally changed today. There just were different ways that we got around doing construction loans, one being a home equity or a modification.
Right.
So, I can see where these would be very beneficial.
So it actually makes more sense if you're looking at the house and you want to make some renovations. It sounds like it makes more sense to do it while you're doing the purchase than to purchase the house and then try to do an equity or a home renovation loan down the road.
Oh, absolutely. You're not going to get, two things. If there's some issues up front that need to be done before you can close, that's obvious that you need to do a renovation loan. But, if there's some items that you want to put in, maybe a pool or, you want to upgrade a kitchen or upgrade the floors and all that. If you do it up front, think about it. Today's interest rates are the lowest. They've been the lowest in 100 years, and they're still low. They've been low for many years.
What are they right now?
You're on a 30-year fixed. Right now you're probably looking at somewhere, depending on your credit score, somewhere between the low to mid 4% range.
Okay.
So if you finance your cost up front, I can't imagine down the road you finding a better deal than doing it up front. An equity line, interest rates are going to move higher on those. And you're going to be really limited right now. Most equity lines, you're limited to 90% of the value of the home. So, unless you put a significant amount down on the purchase, you're not going to be able to pull much money out of an equity line to do improvements later. The good thing about this loan, it's subject to the final improvements being completed at the time of closing. So it's truly the best loan if you want to do improvements to the house.
No, that's really great information. I actually have customers I'm working with right now that this will be very valuable for.
Yeah, I think it would make a lot of sense because it actually gives you a lot more options so that you don't have to travel around as much to find that perfect home. Well,
right. Or sometimes maybe a roof is coming near the age, and roofs are expensive nowadays. I mean,
Right. Now you're still going to have to qualify, right, on the new loan amount.
You still have to qualify on the new loan amount on whatever that is, right? So we would do it. So like the example I gave was $100,000. There's $50,000 worth of improvements. The borrower would qualify in the $150,000 purchase.
Mm-hmm. So if you've got somebody who's qualified only for a $100,000 loan, and they want to do $25,000 in improvements, they're not going to qualify, basically, right?
Well, right.
Okay.
They would have to qualify for the $125,000.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, so we still got to be within. But to tell you, it sounds like, Christian, it's a smart move for folks. So also you could probably get a little bit less house, make some renovations, increase the value of it. Because some of these houses out there, the values are the way they are because of their, like we talked about last week, their value decreases, doesn't it? Because of if there's any issues with the house.
Oh yeah, I mean I've seen some we always see that where with the client you're like, man, this house has so much potential and it's got the right size, it's got this, but if we just had the money to renovate it, and this is a good opportunity to potentially
my dates say that about me.
Yeah.
He's got so much potential, but he needs some renovation.
Oh, God.
And
on that note,
you can add a room with this loan. You can add a garage. You can upgrade. In some of these older homes, maybe they don't have central air and things. You can use that to upgrade to that, or sometimes up in Port St. Lucie and Martin County, they've got some issues with Chinese drywalls and maybe some moisture damage and things. You can use it to do that. Even landscaping, painting, remodeling the kitchen, bath. I mean, redo the floors. There's a lot of stuff. And the other thing with this home style loan is you can actually use it for an investment property purchase and a second home, whereas on the 203K it's only for a primary purchase only. So if you have an investor,
that's an important point.
Yeah, you can use that loan for the investor. The costs are going to be a little bit more. They're going to put down some money, but it's a way to finance improvements on an investment property.
Well, Christian, we usually do a topic called "Hot Around Town," but I don't know how much time you have. If you're tied up for time, we can wait and do that a little bit later on in the segment.
Cool.
What's your time for? Okay, well let's. What we do is we every show we do what's called a Hot Around Town, where we go to our expert realtors and we find out kind of what's hot in the market for them and what's going on. So, since Jane, you were the guest, I am going to start with you and hot around town. So, what's hot around town for the McAllister team?
A couple of things.
Awesome.
First is land, acreage. We're getting so many calls from our signs out off 714 on the way to Indiantown. Large parcels especially.
Nice.
Everyone is looking for. We have offers on one. We have one under contract. We sold one three weeks ago, and that was almost 300 acres. So
wow.
The big parcels of land are very popular.
Why do you think that is? right now.
No,
I can't even go on there.
There's so many reasons for so many different things.
We won't mention Colorado at this time, but anyway.
Yeah, right.
But even things like what's going on in Central America,
Right.
and in places like Honduras with all this, you hear about the border issues with the kids coming
Right.
up. Well, you have people down there. I mean, the country's falling apart, and we have some customers actually from Honduras. And these, you have obviously even in a country like that, there's the wealthy,
Right.
And if they invest a certain amount of money in the United States, they can get a certain amount of visas.
Oh,
So we have
okay.
people, with money in those countries coming up here, investing and buying property so
know
they can
that.
get their family visas so they can get the heck out of there and move
okay.
to, relatively safe America.
Can you find me a little shack, like sometime right in centrally located
Right.
in these areas? I just kind of like the
Yeah.
suburbs like that,
And locally, we have a couple of attorneys who specialize in immigration, so that's really important. One of them
wow, okay.
is right here in Hope Sound.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Okay.
And then we also we listed something new in a 55-plus community, right near where I live, and it's overlooking the golf course.
This was the Cambridge?
Yes,
The Cambridge,
priced at
okay.
$119. What a property!
And
The
you own the
views.
property.
And you get my mom as my dad as a neighbor.
And that is a good thing because she is an
And
absolute
that's
wonderful
priceless.
woman. That right there is worth its weight in gold.
I mean, these views, you'd think you were in St. Andrews down in Boca Raton.
Beautiful.
The views are just awesome. And the people in that neighborhood are just great. It's a great location, so
Wonderful.
great unit.
Well, I let her speak for the McAllister team, I guess. Are you okay with that?
I'm
All right.
fine.
So we're going to go to Carol Morgan. Carol, what is hot around town
Oh,
for
there's
you?
a lot going on right now, but let me tell you first about the two listings that I have. I have a new listing in Port St. Lucie, which is a 5-bedroom Mercedes home, 3-bath, 2-car garage, listed at $249,900. Beautiful home. Just
It's a lot of
very
house
nice
for $249.
It's a lot of house.
No.
And then I have a rental listing in Martin's Crossing in the townhouses. It's a 2-2 for a $1,350 a month. So those are the new listings right now so far. But the biggest thing hot in town for me is I had I have a house listed that was broke into by
Oh,
the
my
pillowcase
gosh.
bandits over the
Oh,
weekend.
they're still around.
Oh, they're massive around.
Wow.
And I guess it was very enlightening for me to be able to talk to the police department, and one of my clients happens to work just right underneath the sheriff, and they've given me some very, very good details of how we should protect ourselves. I mean, it's if you're going to be vacant and leaving your house alone, you should have an alarm system in there.
Absolutely.
No doubt. And if you've got windows, don't leave the windows outside without landscaping in front, and they really will tell you put bougainvillea in front of it.
There you go.
They're thorny. The people don't want to climb in there. But the average break-in only takes 6 minutes.
Wow.
And
Police response time is.
yeah.
Carol, I've been doing I just started doing a real estate blog, and I'd love to interview you and do this as an interview on that. So
Well,
I'll put that up
great.
on Facebook.
And what I have done is I have been in touch with Sheriff Snyder, and I've invited him to come into our office to speak to our agents and
Great
how
idea.
we can protect.
Excellent.
One, how we can guide our sellers and clients into protecting their homes, and secondly, more importantly, is also how to protect us as agents when we are in a very dangerous job.
Yeah.
We are going out with strangers constantly that we don't know who they are, and so they're going to talk a little bit because we've had an agent here in Stewart who was held up by gunpoint and had her car stolen, and so just things to protect us as agents and our clients as homeowners on how to protect their house. But I have to tell you, it unnerved me
Can imagine.
enough to the point that I started looking around my own house and saying,
Good.
how can I protect my house? I've got 2 little dogs inside. They say dogs are great if you have dogs. Dogs are great. But my 2 little guys, they don't hurt anything.
You see those adorable little puppies. I don't know who's going to be afraid of those 2 little cuties.
Just bring a big fly swatter.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because we have an alarm and I do arm it every day when I leave.
Right.
However, at night I was not arming it, in the
yeah.
stay-in mode, and I am doing that now. And
Good for you.
And somebody accidentally opened the door this morning, and the alarm went off. I'm sure at 6 o'clock my neighbors appreciated that, but it's a learning tool, and it's how we I guess we have to live in this modern day today.
That's it.
But they're so strong out there. Right now we have 35 of them in the Martin County Jail.
Wow.
And they're all held on $1 million bond.
Good.
Now, they were caught down in Palm Beach, and Palm Beach only holds them on a $5,000 bond, which is nothing.
Well, let's get them up here.
So Martin gets them up here and says, okay, we're holding you here $1 million. You're going to
Good.
get 15 years in jail.
Good.
So we're proactively out in our county here. We are trying to deter these people from coming in. But it's very eye-opening. Be very aware. Always watch your neighborhood when you're driving through. If you see anything suspicious, call the police department.
Absolutely. Well, Christian, since you are our guest as well today, we're going to go to you with what's hot around town for Christian today or this week. You still there with us, Christian?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
I had
okay.
to unmute for a second.
No, that's okay. What's hot around town for you? What's the big news in the market for you?
Well, actually, there's some interesting stuff coming out. Fannie Mae, who really is the mortgage-backed securities, the company that really buys almost all the mortgage loans today, they're coming out with some interesting changes that they've announced that's going to come in mid-August. And this affects people that have had a short sale, let's say, on their real estate. Well, the guidelines prior to this change that they're talking about was if you had a short sale that you could buy a new piece of real estate in 2 years with 20% down using a conventional loan. FHA requires 3 years. So as a conventional loan, 20% down in 2 years, you can put 10% down in 4 years, and then in 7 years you can qualify for 5% down loan. Well, the announcement that they're trying to implement is they're going to remove all of the other dates except for a 4-year period where then you're allowed to finance, maximum financing of 5% down in 4 years. The problem with this change is there is a tremendous amount of people out there right now that have had a short sale, let's say within between the 2-year and 4-year period, that these people, and they have 20% to put down on a new house, they're going to be affected the most. So if you are a person out there that falls in that window and you're looking to buy real estate, you would need to find property and make an application within the next couple weeks to ensure that you can get a loan, or else you'd have to wait another 2 years to get a conventional loan. So we're actually going through this announcement as we speak and trying to figure this out. It came up pretty fast, and they're moving on it pretty fast.
So basically, what you're saying is, if within 4 years, if you've had a short sale foreclosure, you're not going to buy a house.
You're not going to be able to purchase a home if you fall between the 2-year and 4-year window for another, however long it takes.
Unless you're going to pay cash.
And,
Wow.
well, that, or you have to get an FHA loan, which is 3 years.
Okay.
But the good thing, on a side note, up on the north end in Martin County, Port St. Lucie and stuff, there are some areas where you can do USDA financing, which there is no waiting period on that. So, that if you had a short sale, that loan may be the best for you, but it is area specific, and not all areas qualify. But the big announcement is really truly going to be that short sale person that between that 2 and the 4 year window. That's
well, you guys need to go to christianpenner.com and really look into that and find out, or give one of our realtors a call. And what's that number, Mr. Scott?
772-444-2590.
There you go, Scotty.
Yeah, and also on my website there, if you go there, I did post an announcement right on my main site there that describes all the Fannie Mae announcement there, so you could pull it right off there and read it and understand it. So that's right on my main site there.
Thank you so much, Matt. We really, really appreciate the time and all the information you shared with us, Christian.
I appreciate the opportunity, guys.
Thanks, Christian.
Awesome, Christian. Hey, listen, take care. And christianpenner.com, that's christianpenner.com. Go there, and we're hoping that we might be able to have Christian back on here with us, because this sounds like a great topic that we need to do a whole show about.
Well, I really, truly enjoyed it, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, Christian, listen, you have a great day and have a wonderful weekend.
You too.
All right, wonderful. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and take another quick break here from some of our sponsors and give ourselves a little bit of a breather. But you're listening to Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed. We have Scott McAllister, the lovely Jane McAllister, and the lovely Carol Morgan, along with me, Tom Platania. You're listening to TREU Radio. We'll be right back.
When you buy a home without a house master inspection, things can break down without warning. When things break down without warning, you get angry. When you get angry, you may commit acts of random violence. When you commit acts of random violence, you could do hard time. Don't do hard time. Call Housemaster for your home inspection needs. 772-336-2111. Or visit them on the web, stlucy.housemaster.com. Customer service and great rates. That's what you get with Atlantic Insurance Advisors. Remember, everyone's just one torrential downpour away from a flood. And with rates as low as $129 per year, why would you not get coverage? Call 772-233-4444 or email flood@atlanticinsurance.us and save hundreds on all your insurance needs. That's 772-233-4444, 233-4444 for Atlantic Insurance Advisors. Are you selling your home, wondering how you're ever going to move all your belongings? Well, don't wonder. Call the trusted moving professionals from Mr. Small Move. Their staff of full-time movers are ready to take the stress out of your next move. Mr. Small Move will safely pack, move, then place and assemble your belongings at your new location. So if you're moving, call the trusted professionals at Mr. Small Move. For a free estimate, call 283-5540. That's 772-283-5540 for Mr. Small Move. Every 13 seconds, a home intrusion is committed in the United States, with property loss totals in the billions. Take action today to prevent it from happening to you with ADT, protecting homes and businesses for more than 136 years. Protect Security is your authorized ADT dealer on the Treasure Coast. Call Richard Stratman today at 772-708-2691. Protect Security and ADT, offering peace of mind security 24/7. Call today, Protect Security, 708-2691. Dramatic change invites invigorating new energy. Let Decorating Den Interiors create a dramatic change in your home's decor. They'll create a look that's important to you. Begin your home's gorgeous transformation by calling Decorating Den Interiors on the Treasure Coast at 692-8589. Visit their waterfront design studios on Southeast Osceola Street, downtown Stuart, and online at stewartdecorator.com. Has a recent foreclosure, bankruptcy, or short sale spoiled your credit? Fidelity Funding may be able to help. Their hometown lenders are specially trained to work with your credit history to find the perfect loan program and get you back on track. Even if credit is no problem, Fidelity Funding offers many dynamic loan programs. Call Fidelity Funding on the Treasure Coast at 772-237-5211. They work day in and out with realtors in your community to find you the house you love. Call 237-5211 for Fidelity Funding. You're listening to WSTU Stuart.
All right, welcome back to TREU Radio, Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed. I'm Tom Platania, your host, and we're here with Carol Morgan, Jane McAllister, Scott McAllister from the McAllister team. And we are finishing up today. It's going to be our last Thursday show. We are moving on up, and we're moving to Friday morning, same time, 10:05 to 11 a.m. We're going to be here every Friday morning on WSTU 1450. But you can find us all day, every day, any day on TREURadio.com. Now that's spelled TREU radio.com. And you can go there, you can watch the show. If you've missed any part where Christian and the realtors were talking about the FHA loans, the 203K renovations, which I think that's a smart money right there.
Yeah.
And
just the idea that you can even put off making payments for 6 months.
Oh yeah,
that's
itself.
That's not. Yeah, that's
a lot.
That's a big deal for some people.
People are struggling with their bank accounts to put that down payment down. Everything. Then they got to make that big first payment the next month.
I wonder if I should have asked him if those 6 months worth of payments are tacked on the back end, because they're going to collect interest on that money.
Yeah. That's good.
But still, it's the option if it can help a person out.
Absolutely.
I mean, 6 months of not making payments is a big deal.
Yeah, especially if you're putting 5, 10, 20% down on a house.
Right.
I mean, most people are pretty much draining their bank accounts to make that happen, and then having to make that big payment. And some of these people are renters, so they're going from a smaller payment to a bigger payment most of the time. So yeah, that's actually a good question. So maybe we can ask a Christian, get him back on the show. But yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. A lot of sense, and instead of having to go and find that perfect house that you're probably going to pay $100,000 more for anyway,
Right.
just buy something a little on the lower side and then just renovate it to perfect it to what you want.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great avenue due to the fact that so many of these houses were built, especially in the Port St. Lucie area. They were so mass built that some of the stuff that's in them are they all look alike. There's nothing special in them.
Yeah.
Those are the great houses to go in to renovate, to be able to do that with.
And, you were mentioning about permits earlier and things of that nature, and I just came across somebody down south in Palm Beach that the owner did some renovations in the house without a permit, and they got nailed big time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to TREU Radio, Treasure Coast Real Estate Unleashed. We'll thank our guests here with us, Jane McAllister, Scott McAllister, Carol Morgan, our co-hosts. And don't forget, we close every show with Zig Ziglar quote. I just love his enthusiasm. But the quote of today is, you cannot tailor-make your situation in life, but you can tailor-make your attitudes to those situations.
So true.
Wonderful. So
one.
we want to thank Mike, our Wizard of Oz behind the scenes, for being here with us today. And he's still going to be with us Friday.
Do not look behind the curtain, Tom.
No, trust us, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to look behind the curtain. No. Thanks for listening to TREU Radio. We'll be back next Friday, not Thursday, next Friday right here on WSTU 1450. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening.